Greetings, this is Wanda. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back to the channel. This is Diaspora Connect. This is Wanda, and hello, greetings, Mambo, Habari, Karibu Sana. Welcome to the channel, and welcome back. Welcome to the new subscribers, Karibu Sana, and welcome back to the faithful OGs that have been rocking with me from the very beginning. Welcome in the room. Thank you for tuning in. Please do me a favor. First thing is like, share, and subscribe. Thumbs up. Hit on the notification bell to be notified. So whenever I do a video or a live or a um, anything, you'll be notified. So today I want to talk about the embassy here in not only Tanzania but any of the international uh, countries that you go to. If there is a U.S. embassy there, um, please understand that this is not whatever country that whatever country that you decide to visit, relocate to, repatriate to, um, do business in. Even if there's an embassy in that country, the embassy does not. This is not the U.S., so they can't usurp their authority over the whatever country that they're in. So if you decide that you want to travel, and this I decided to do this video so our Americans can, specifically Black Americans, because some of us don't travel a whole lot, and some of us have never traveled outside of the country. So you need to be aware of how the embassy works in these different countries that you decide to visit, whether it's an embassy there or not. Most of them do have embassies, but um, the embassy cannot usurp its authority over that country. So whatever country that you're in, if something happens to you, um, you're at the mercy of that country, or you are under the laws that govern that specific country. So the U.S. can just come along and scoop you up and get you out of a situation if you have committed a crime, if you have stolen something, if you have gotten involved or gotten in any kind of trouble. The U.S. can't just come and just scoop you out of the situation and send you back to America. It don't work like that. You have to, whatever country you're in, based on their laws, you have to be um, um, you have to go to court and be tried and judged in that country. So whatever system that that country has going on, whatever laws and the court, how the courts work in whatever country you decide to go to, you will be tried in their country in under their laws, not under U.S. jurisdiction. So just because an embassy is in a specific country and you know you're a U.S. citizen does not mean that if something happens that the U.S. just come and scoop you out and scoop you up. Most of the time, how it works is if you're in a specific country and something happens, and you have to go to court or whatever the case might be, the U.S. will allow that country to exercise its laws and jurisdiction over you, and then after you serve your punishment or you, pay for whatever happened with that country, as long as you satisfy their laws, rules, and guidelines and their penalties or whatever, then you'll be able to leave. Otherwise, you're subject to the rules, laws, courts in whatever international country that you decide to visit, do business in, relocate, repatriate. Um, some of them will allow you to be like deported. Some of that can happen, but it's based on like what happens and what you do, the crime that's committed, etc. So if you plan to travel and you plan to leave the U.S., make sure you understand whatever country that you plan on, especially if whatever country you plan on visiting, doing business in, relocating, or whatever. You understand their laws, rules, and guidelines of behaviors and of just their criminality, like how they handle crimes and how they handle different situations. Research that so you'll be aware that if you come in that country and you get into any kind of activities, whether it's illegal or whatever issues, any kind of issues that you, embezzlement, money issues, financial issues, whatever things that you may get involved in, you got to find out how that country handles or deals with situations like that with their own citizens. So look back and find out if someone got in this situation or that situation in the past in that country, how were they dealt with? So 9 times out of 10, if it doesn't matter if you're a foreigner or not, if you um, commit a crime in a specific country, you'll serve and be judged just like the locals would. You'll serve that same type of punishment that they would, in their own country. So just keep that in mind. This video, the idea came to my mind to make sure that we understand as they call us foreigners, but because of the passport that we hold, even though we know we are the historic diaspora, six region diaspora, the ones that were dispersed during the transatlantic slave trade 500 years ago, over 500 years ago. If we do decide to come back to Africa, right, relocate, do business, move back, whatever, you have to understand that you'll be under the jurisdiction or the guidelines in that, or the laws in that country. So if you commit a crime or if you do something or something happens, you'll be tried based on their laws, not the U.S. stuff. And the embassy only has a limited um, amount of jurisdiction in these different countries. Um, Also, the fact that you are, especially if you're a diaspora, if you're Black or Afro descendant, and you're Black or African Israelite or African person, um, they don't even help you in the United States. The United States don't even really help you. Like we got cops unaliving us and all that. You don't really have fair laws and rules in America as a Black person. So don't think that if you leave the country and you go to another country, that just because there's an embassy, that doesn't mean that they're gonna bend over backwards to try to help you. Just plain and simple. You got to understand that they're not going to bend over backwards to help you, especially if you get involved in something. If you're involved in some kind of crime or some kind of anything, any problems that you may have in that country. Especially now, if you are a Mzungu or a white person, then they may bend over backwards to help you. But as a Black person, Afro descendant, yeah, they're not going to bend over backwards to help you. You know, and if they do, it's gonna be they're not gonna be like rushing trying to figure out what's going on with you. They're not going to do that. You just got to know that before you decide to repatriate to any country. You got to know that you'll be under the laws of that country. You'll be under the governing rules of that country. So you have to research how they deal with this type of crime, how they deal with this before you get involved or before you find yourself in decisions that you make involved in any kind of situations in a foreign land or another country outside of the country that your passport is that you have, you're considered a foreigner. You have to look into all of um, the laws that govern the country, because you'll be subjected to those if you're here in the whatever specific country you decide to go to. So I decided to do this video because um, I noticed that a lot of our people in America, because they haven't traveled a lot, or I say the diaspora or the Black people, Black Americans, seem like they don't really understand how it works when you're international. They don't understand how the law works and how things are done, you know. So the first thing people say if somebody gets in a situation is, yes, call the embassy, but that does not mean the embassy is going to run to help you like that. They're not going, especially if you're Black. I'm just saying, they're not. They're not going to be in a rush to find out what's going on. And if they do look into it and they find out that there's an issue with you and the laws that are governed in that country, they're going to let the country um, um, resolve that. They're going to let the country do their system of justice. They're going to let that country carry out the system of justice in that country for you. They're not going to jump in. They're not going to be able to jump in and pull you out of a situation if you get yourself in a situation. So we must know that as diaspora that are leaving America, foreigners who are leaving to go to different countries, you'll be under the jurisdiction of the guidelines in that specific country or the laws in that country, not the ones in America. Even if it's an embassy in that country, even if there's an embassy in that country, the embassy can't usurp its authority over any person, even if you're a U.S. citizen, and there is a situation with you in that particular country, whether it's embezzlement, whether it's any kind of illegal activity or any kind of issues that they can't, unless you're stuck. Now, if you're stuck somewhere and you want to get back to America, you don't have the money or that, then of course the embassy will help you. I believe I believe they give you money to get a ticket back, but you have to pay them when you get back. They give you like a loan or something like that. I know some people have done that where they came over, maybe they ran out of money, and they needed to get back home, so they'll go to the embassy and they'll let them know, so they'll help them out, give them like a loan to get them back home, get a ticket, and they have to pay them back when they get there or something like. And I think they void their passport. They have to apply for a whole nother passport. So stuff like that, yeah, they will be able to help you out with that part, which is good. They will be able to update your passport, renew your passport if it's expiring. If you lose it, you can replace it. So different stuff like that they can do. But when it comes to um, uh, getting in a situation, any kind of like legal situation with the country, they won't be able to swoop in and save you. They won't be able to swoop in and grab you out of the situation and take you back. No, if you'll be governed under the laws in that country. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So I just wanted to do this video, and I think I'm going to name it the embassy. The embassy cannot save you. The U.S. Embassy cannot save you. So when I title it that, you'll know what I'm talking about. That you have to understand how things work internationally. It does not, when you leave America and you go to whatever foreign land you decide to visit, go to whatever, you have to know the laws and the rules of that country, and you have to move accordingly to make sure that you're not in a situation where you're under the jurisdiction of that country's laws and rules, and you won't be able to, you know, get back where you need to be, right? So do research on that too, because if you say you want to leave and you want to go to specific countries, it's important that you know how they administer their laws and their, um, how they their courts work. Basically, you need to know how their courts work, their justice system works, all that. Because if you come and you get in a situation, you will possibly be um, that will apply to you based on what's going on in your situation, right? So I'm trying to be kind of general, not specifically about anyone in particular, but you just need to know how things work when you leave the country. Even if it's a U.S. embassy, they're only limited to what they can do because it's not the U.S. It's not the U.S. So in a lot of these countries, especially on the continent, they're nothing like the U.S. They don't run things, they don't do things the same way. So when you come out of that, you have to know that in your mind that if you you have to move accordingly to make sure that you're not in any conflicts and you don't get involved in any issues, things that's going on that you see. Try to avoid with the plague, especially being outside of America and you have that passport. And even if you have residency, so if you're in a specific country and you have residency, they can revoke your residency and make you leave at any time if you get in trouble. And it's a lot of things can happen when you um, come outside of America, just like America has its laws and they have their courts and the justice system. They ain't really, there's no justice for us as Black people, but we don't get that there. So don't think that when you come outside of there that they're gonna intervene for you, that they're going to save you, that they're going to help you. They're not. So that should not be, if you come outside of America and you know someone or you get in a situation, just know that the embassy is not going to save you. They're not going to save you. They're not. So especially as a Black person, they're not going to save you. Just got to understand that before you decide to travel outside of the US. I just wanted to do this video because I wanted to kind of explain how things work internationally. Internationally, it's way different from how they do things in America. They have their own system, but they have their system works the way they want it to work. It's not America. So the things that you used to over there and the way they do things over there, they may not do it when you leave there and come to other countries. So you have to have your mindset right when you decide to travel. That's why it's important to know the rules, laws, and all these different things when you travel into these different countries. Because, like the situation with the young guy that's going on now in Dubai, I guess he was like 18, and I guess he was dating someone that was 17. And so that's considered like statutory rape because the 18-year-old is an adult, the 17-year-old is still considered a child. Even though they're just 1 year apart, that's illegal. And so he's in a situation. So and a lot of that is the same thing in America. If an 18-year-old dates a 17 or 16-year-old, he can be in big trouble because they're still considered children. And so the 18-year-old is considered like an adult. So even in America, you got to be careful with that age range right there. I would tell my son when he got around that age, date women, date girls your age and older. Don't date anybody younger than that. When he turned like 17, even when he was 17, I would tell him, date girls or, how they say dating, I'm dating, whatever. If you say this your girlfriend, you're dating a girl, make sure she is at least your age or older, nobody younger. So I had to really um, push that across to my son because at that age it's a slippery slope. Like the parents, if they don't like the guy, they can probably get press charges or do something like that because their child is still a minor, even though you would consider the other one being a minor, but they're older. So I had to instill that in him just to make sure he wouldn't get in any kind of situations with people's children, people's daughters. You know what I mean? So that is stuff we need to know. And these young people, they need to know these type of things. You just can't do anything, especially when you travel into different countries. We could have possibly got away with that in the States, especially if he was with, another, black um, person. It's because I think it's a African American young guy, and I think the girl he was dating, I think she was Arab, or I don't know what she was. She didn't look like she was African American, but he would have probably gotten away with that in America if he dated. He was 18 and he dated a 17-year-old African American, especially if her parents approved. If our parents approved in him dating the girl, then it probably wouldn't be a problem because the parents wouldn't, make a big deal. And so, but it still wouldn't be ideal because you just don't want any issues with your child or with your children. So just to keep it on the safe side, I would just be like, just date somebody your age. Just date somebody your age or older, a little bit older. So, but anyway, I want to do this video about the U.S. Embassy in these different international countries. Um, their jurisdiction is limited. They can't just do anything, and they don't rush to to your aid. They're not gonna rush to your aid if you're not a certain color. I'm just saying they don't even do that in America. You can't expect them to do it outside of America. They're still the same outside of America as they are in America. They don't give two pennies about us in America. They ain't gonna give two pennies for you outside of America. They might help you if you just need, like I said, if you need to get home, if you run out of money, if you need to update your passport or you need more pages or something, they'll help you with that. If you lose your, stuff like that. But any kind of trouble, yeah, they don't be in a rush to try to help you like that. They just don't. It is what it is. They don't do that in America. We can't got to know that they're not going to do it outside. So just wanted to do this video for those who didn't know this. It's good to know this, especially if you plan on traveling internationally. You got to know the rules, regulations, and guidelines of being in specific countries, and you have to follow them if you want to live peacefully, if you want to have the freedom, you want to feel safe and all that. All these go hand in hand with following the laws, rules, and the guidelines in whatever said country you decide to visit, repatriate to, or live in. So Yeah, so anyway, I just thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I wanted to also mm, do a special mention to those who have in the life of my channel, or since I've been here in Tanzania, you have donated to me via Cash App, via PayPal. You have consulted with me through Diaspora Connect. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you so much for contributing to my success here, for me have being here 4.5 years. And thank you so much for all you've done. Thank you for watching. Thank you for just rooting for me. Thank you for the encouraging words. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the interaction that we have. Um, yeah. So thank you so much. I just wanted to tell you thank you. You know who you are. Um, and I appreciate you and moving forth and onward. Um, yeah, I'm getting more subscribers, so I'm grateful for that. Hopefully, I will be able to get monetized. We'll see. I have like 2 weeks left to see if they approve me or not. So we'll see. If not, I'll still be making videos. I'll still be, sharing my life with you, sharing ideas with you, helping those who are interested in visiting, relocating, or doing business in Tanzania. You can hit me up at diasporaconnect0@gmail.com, diasporaconnect0@gmail.com. I do relocation and business consultations, and I give you advice. I share with you my experience of doing these things, and the things you may need, how to get certain things set up with apartments and looking for houses and furniture and drivers, and because you do understand that this is a Kiswahili speaking country. There is ways that you could around it, even if you don't know it. You just learn gradually, like I have. And you can pretty much get everything done that you need to have done. It's about who you know. It's not always what you know, how much money you have. It's the connections, the right people that you are referred to or connected with. It's always good to connect with the diaspora when you decide to leave America and go to any country. It's always good to have like a little connection with somebody from the US that they can kind of show you the ropes if they've been there. They can, help you out. If you get in a bind and you're on the continent and you get in a situation, you have numbers here because your family's all the way in America. If your phone is not working, then you may not be able to get in contact with them per se internationally, but you may know people, boots on the ground, that you can, have someone go to their house, have call them and have someone call them and come see about you. So it's always good to connect with diaspora um, wherever you decide to relocate or repatriate to and or visit. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to end this video, and I'll do another video in the next couple of days. So I want to say salama, peace, family, shalom. We'll see you guys in the next video.